Good night. In this video, we're gonna talk about software integration within video editing software. So you can choose what is the best software to fit your need. I will demonstrate this software integration topic with two popular video editing software, Davinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere Pro. So let's get into it. So what is software integration? Alright, I will talk about Davinci Resolve first because it's free and you can download it and use it right here, right now. So let's get into Davinci Resolve. So as you see here in Davinci Resolve, this is your media pool. So Davinci Resolve have a kind of different workflow from Adobe Premiere Pro. Alright, so you have your media pool here. So your work is basically divided by the page. Alright, this is your media pool, this is your cutting page, this is your editing page, just like editing page in Adobe Premiere. Basically it's kind of the same, so you get my point, right? So on the right side of this editing page is this Fusion. So this Fusion is like advanced version of After Effects and anything you can do with compositing, and the best part of it, you can make your visual effect with node-based editing. This is very great, and you can see like in the Netflix, DC, Marvel, and etc, like in the Hollywoods, they're using Fusion to make their own visual effects. So here it is. This is the interface of the Fusion. Imagine if Adobe Premiere Pro have like Fusion page or Fusion tab in their software. It's basically very good for them. But in business side, okay, I will talk about the business side of it. If Adobe integrating like After Effects to the Premiere Pro, like, here's the question, bro, who buys After Effects? Because they're selling their software separately, right? But if you buy Davinci Resolve or Davinci Resolve Studio, you just buy the software and you get the Fusion. Easy, you get it all in one easy payment and not recurring payment. So the business model is kind of different, and Adobe is making million by using their business scheme, right? So hey, it is still ethical, but over time, using Adobe ecosystem is very expensive. Hey, I'm just saying though. So in the next page is color. So this is your color grading workspace. Let's say this is color grading workspace in your Davinci Resolve, right? Actually, it's page. So basically, when Blackmagic releasing Davinci Resolve is for color grading, okay? It's focusing on color grading, just like Adobe SpeedGrade. But they're integrating their color grading with the editing capabilities in their software. And that's why Davinci Resolve is very compelling software to use for you video editors. And it's free. Resolve, man! It's free! But the learning curve to use Davinci Resolve as your daily basis software is very steep. Bro, I understand that learning Davinci Resolve is not like easy as that, right? But when the learning curve is very steep, you get the most of the software, alright? This is a very advanced software. So in my opinion, this coloring workspace, this coloring page, this is a very good layout for your color grading. Because everything is right here. Everything is right here, bro. You don't have to access one by one. If you want to boost your shadow or reduce your highlight, you just take your slider here and boom. Or your saturation, or your hue, or luminosity mix, or color boost. It's all in the front page. It is easy to color grade in Davinci Resolve, but does it make Adobe Premiere Pro less superior or inferior to Davinci Resolve to color grade? No. Let me tell you something. So I said before that Adobe released SpeedGrade like years ago, and Adobe integrating the SpeedGrade into the Adobe Premiere Pro and rename it to Lumetri Color. So you might sound familiar with Lumetri Color, right? Lumetri Color is Adobe SpeedGrade. Basically, if you're using Adobe software from years ago, you will know that Adobe SpeedGrade is kinda, I don't say it's very similar. It's kinda similar to this Davinci Resolve color page, right? The workflow is kinda same, but it's not like more advanced like Davinci Resolve. So when we color grade in Adobe Premiere Pro, the workflow is kinda linear, right? The workflow is kinda linear, it's kinda easy, and if you want to make a very specific change, it will be more difficult. Yeah, it's difficult because we don't use node-based editing like Davinci Resolve, right? Because we want to make a very little change in all the complex color grading. You will know what I'm talking in this video when you learn to color grade in Adobe Premiere Pro, which is I will make the tutorial for you guys. But let's see. So, in the right page of this is fairlight. So, fairlight in Davinci Resolve is like Adobe Audition, but it is on the software. Okay, it is integrated in Davinci Resolve. But in Adobe Premiere, if you want to use like this one, like this DAW workflow and workspace like this, you have to move your project to Adobe Audition. Maybe you're using like edit this sequence in Adobe Audition or render your audio and edit it in Adobe Audition, whatever. Basically, if you want to use a DAW in Premiere Pro, you have to use Adobe Audition. And you have to buy the software. Also, money. Basically, that's it. Capitalism. If Adobe start integrating all their good software into one Adobe Premiere Pro Ultimate software, they will lose some money at first, but imagine this. They lose some money at first, but the consumer base will be growing. Consider this decision, Adobe. If you want to integrate your great software into one software like Adobe Premiere, let's say it's not Adobe Premiere Pro, okay? It's Adobe Premiere Ultimate or Adobe Premiere Pro Max, whatever you call it. If you can do that, Adobe, your customer base will be growing. Consider it. Okay, imagine people only have to buy one software, just Adobe Premiere Pro, and they can get like Adobe Audition in them, and they can get like Adobe After Effects in them in one software. Of course, you can also still sell your other software like Adobe Illustration. It's very different software. Just do this business practice, like you integrate Adobe SpeedGrade into Adobe Premiere Pro and turn it into lumetri color. We're happy. We're very happy with that decision. So why don't you make Adobe After Effects within Adobe Premiere Pro? So why don't you make Adobe Audition within Adobe Premiere Pro? Please consider it, Adobe. If you agree with me, drop your comment down below and I'll see you in the next one.